What up, tag team? How's everybody doing? It's your boy Scooter here. I'm gonna go ahead and address it. I did make a Raw at the Crown Jewel quick tag. Had a little quality issue, so I'm gonna just upload it as audio on our YouTube so you can listen to it. You can hear me react to Theory, Money in the Bank, Mia Yim, all that good stuff. So it'll be there. Yeah, even some NASCAR. It'll be there. Second, I really, really hope my Zoe Stark prediction was recorded because when you're predictions champ, a lot of your predictions come true. And I predicted it. It came true. If you don't know what I'm talking about, stay tuned. NXT opens up with Joe Gacy and Schism. That name sounds so. It's I did look up at one point what Schism meant and I forgot. But Joe Gacy and Schism goes against Cameron Grimes 1-on-1. So I don't want you to think it was like a 3-on-1. Joe Gacy versus Cameron Grimes. Of course, Schism was going to interfere at some point. They let Gacy update his gear, so he letting all that beef show, all that beef. But Gacy gets the W. I mean, you have I forgot what GYV's new names are, but you had them. You had Ava. Come on now. Grimes stood no chance. You had Carmelo and Trick Trick in the barbershop, and they was discussing, with the North American Championship, the fact that Wesley won it, but Wesley didn't necessarily beat me. Ours. Um, so basically, in 2 weeks, I think it is. Yes, because next week is the contract signing between Carmelo and Wesley, and in 2 weeks, Wesley, Carmelo Hayes rematch for the North American Championship. We'll see how that goes. I wonder, is this a graduation of some sorts for Carmelo or potentially him going for the NXT championship? Scripps, he hacked the show with and I'm only assuming it's a he because of the voice. The voice sounds like a guy. So he hacked the show, cut the lights out, and posted a manuscript on all the Titantrons and things. And if you've been following this whole Scripps thing, Scripps talks in he talks poetic, but I'm trying to think of that form of poetry because it's in Ghost of Tsushima. Oh my god. I just forgot. Somebody remind me. Some of a bitch. But yeah. And then when it came back, they was even like, yeah, Scripps, everybody. And then it led to the next match, Sol Ruka versus Elektra Lopez. Elektra Lopez gets the W. I mean, it's her first match back. She gets the W. Indy comes out, beats up on Elektra, to get revenge for what happened last week. So I'm pretty sure soon we're going to get Indy and Elektra. And Indy starting to develop this new attitude because she's like, I'm starting to see you got to take what you want, no friends, all of the above. And that kind of played out throughout the show because later on in the show, she ran into Roxanne Perez and she was like, Roxanne was like, I'm just trying to make sure you good. Da, da, da. She was like, didn't you learn anything from when you was beefing with Cora that, you can't have friends and blah, 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 blah. So she's taking on a new attitude. So she's a loner, no friends, on my own, by myself, one deep, 10 toes down, one Indy, one Hartwell. in NXT. Shouts out to Kevin Hart. Uh, Toxic Attraction, well, 2/3 of Toxic Attraction had a very cheesy segment where JC was FaceTiming Mandy, and JC was like, "I just came from the mall." Now the funny thing is, and I'm only taking a quick sidebar because it's just the thought of it. It's pitch black dark where JC is at, and she so-called just stops in the middle of the mall parking lot or whatever, and just decides to have a FaceTime call. Like, where's the situational awareness? I almost said a word I wasn't supposed to say, but stay woke. They be creeping. Childish Gambino told you this. Stay woke. They gonna find you.
And they did.
Long as you sleeping. And boy, did they find her. Because mall security rolled up on JC and they were like, "Oh, it's probably just Paul Blart trying to get your number, trying to." Next thing you know, you see JC getting snatched up out the car. She gets snatched up out the car. Now you hear his hands and feet. You hear his bloop, 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 and JC screaming. The next thing you know, Alba Fire gets in the car and finishes the FaceTime and says, "Hey, I told you I was going to beat up on your girls. I want that title, fam, and I'm coming to get it next week." So next week, Alba Fire, Mandy Moore, Mandy Rose, last woman standing. We'll see what happens. Next segment, you get Andre Chase with the new iteration of Chase U, Thea Hale, and now Duke Hudson versus Charlie Dempsey, aka William Regal's splitting image. He can't deny that boy. They are definitely father and son. But Duke is trying to fit in with Chase U, and he's trying to still implore and use his ways. And it played out to where it was a submission Dempsey had Chase in, and he tried to push the ropes towards Chase. Chase was like, "No, no." So he's just in the submission, like he's just like stuck. And then to where Thea Hale had a towel, she just grabs the towel. Duke grabs the towel, throws the towel in because it was like, "Nah, fam, we can't witness no more of the homie being just choked out." So, what's up?
Do you think that it's going to be like a split where it's like, if you want to learn the dirty ways of wrestling, go to Duke U?
I don't know. We're gonna see. We'll see. But
Duke U?
we'll see. Then to where they had this, I don't know where this Kiana James stuff fits in the storyline of wrestling and fits in the storyline of NXT, because her trying to acquire properties. What is this do in the landscape of wrestling? Like, but I guess to where she's been wanting to buy Fallon Henley's family bar, they had a segment to where Fallon Henley, along with Brooks and Jensen, Brooks Jensen, Josh Briggs. So Briggs and Jensen, them guys, they all had a segment. Kiana walks in with her assistant, trying to offer her more money to buy this. And she's like, "This bar has been in my family for all these years. You think I'm gonna give it up? Blah, 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 blah." And she's like, "No, you ain't getting this bar, fam." And yeah, what they gonna have? Winner gets the property match. Like, I don't see what this is. What is Kiana James and wanting to acquire properties supposed to do? Like, I'm so confused. Hopefully at some point it'll reveal itself. But yeah. Um Hank Walker, Hank Walker went against Channing Stacks Lorenzo. And Hank Walker was the former security guard who now became a wrestler. Um regular match, like nothing spectacular. Stacks get the W. Um, it was the Grayson Waller effect. He had Braun Breaker, uh, Von Wagner, along with Mr. Stone. They had their little sit down. Grayson Waller, sometimes he can be a little much. I get it. I get it. I'm not even like mad at it because he plays the role very well. But they playing off the fact that Wagner is bigger, he's stronger than Braun. How's Braun gonna react? But so what? Well, but we'll see what happens. Their championship matches next week. So not only do we get the last woman standing, but we get Breaker versus Wagner. I mean, let's face it, we already know who's gonna win. Because I mean, we already know Apollo has claimed stake to want to be number one contender. JD Madonna still wants his one-on-one. So if Wagner is the one to beat Breaker at the fact that Breaker has beat all these people, I'm done. I'm done. That's all I'm saying. I'm done. Because hell, they could have had Austin Theory cash in on Braun Breaker, but that would be another video for another time. Cora Jade had a promo about her coreness and her jadeness. Yeah, I guess. I guess they had to fill in some time. Promos. Um, JD Madonna goes against Axiom. Pretty solid match. Not mad at this one at all. Axiom, or A Kid, is a very athletic individual. I guess I wasn't paying attention before, but man is very athletic. Um, they had a pretty good match. Madonna gets the W. Um, he gets the W because the way he bent Axiom's leg was just gnarly. And I think they said I think they gave it a pop, but basically he bent it to where the fight ended with referee stoppage. And from that, of course, JD Madonna being this technical person he is, he was like, that was just a sprain, you know, because I'm a nice guy. I could have made it worse. And then he calls out Apollo. I want to say it was next week. Yes, next week. We're going to get JD Madonna and Apollo Crews. Finally. Speaking of Apollo Crews, he did have a segment where apparently he's in Nigeria looking for the next African superstar, and it was like random. But he was like even saying that, yo, Braun, I want that belt, fam. We'll see what happens. Brutus Creed, Damon Kemp, Brutus finally gets his 5 minutes with Damon. This was weird because it wasn't the way I thought it was going to play out. I thought it was supposed to be, they're both in the ring. Brutus get a chance to just do whatever for 5 minutes. In the midst of the match, they actually made it a match. And in the midst of it, a chair was introduced. Brutus ended up using it on Damon, and then they called for disqualification. And I was like, I don't remember that was supposed to be a match, but okay, yeah, okay, cool. But yeah, Damon Kemp technically gets the win over DQ. Brutus beats him up with a chair at the end. Diamond Mine forever. Main event. I'm pretty sure that might have been something else, but main event. NXT Women's Tag Team Championships. Kaden and Katana versus Nikita and Zoe. And what I said in the beginning about, predicting things, it happened. This match wasn't as exciting as their original match, but it wasn't bad. Ultimately, the champs retain. Um, Zoe and Nikita was trying to show respects, handing over the belt. Zoe wouldn't hand over her belt, will hand over the belt to Caden. So eventually she kind of pulls it away from Caden and just blatantly, 100% on purpose, blasts Nikita with the title. Then she tries to go after the champions. They dip out the way. I want to say she hit Nikita again a couple more times. And then she eventually threw the belt at Caden. And the show ends with her standing over Nikita. And I was like, I knew this, that she was going to betray Nikita because Zoe was coming back with this more intense, this more ferocious side. I knew this was going to lead to a heel turn. So NXT, uh, we got to look forward to two championship matches. We got the NXT Women's Championship. We have the NXT Men's Championship. 2 weeks, North American Championship between Wes and Carmelo. And then after that, I know they said Shawn Michaels was supposed to be there, I think, next week to address what's supposed to happen with Deadline, or I don't know, there's supposed to be some type of specialtiness with Deadline, or if he's going to announce some matches for Deadline. But he's supposed to address Deadline next week as well. So we'll stay tuned because we're on the road to Deadline because Deadline is in about 4 weeks. I know we have AEW next week. We have Survivor Series on the 26th, and I think Deadline is the 10th. Every time I say Deadline, I have a feeling like I got a term paper to turn in or something. But yeah, NXT. Once again, that Raw upload will get uploaded. It'll just be audio, but it'll be uploaded. Crown Jewel review is live, featuring myself, Juggs, and Aranya from the Less Than Stealthy Ninjas. Thank y'all for tuning in. I will see y'all tomorrow with AEW. Throwing that out. Tag out.